2017, Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan went on The Howard Stern Show and reluctantly told a story.
By the way, my friend, you made major news the last time you were here. Did you realize that?
About the alien, the shapeshifter.
Yeah, you dropped a bombshell. Every paper picked it up.
He said he had twice seen somebody he knew change. Not change clothes or change personalities, change into something else entirely.
The time you saw a shapeshifter, where were you?
It was the same person.
Oh, it was?
This happened with the same person twice. And I will say that the story is even more fantastical than you think.
And this is the kind of claim that instantly gets filed under too weird to take seriously. Online, it's lumped in with the most ridiculed term in modern conspiracy culture, the lizard person.
Yeah, now the other third type that got mentioned on Mission was reptilians. But every time that they were mentioned, it was really quickly hushed up by whoever else was on the other end of the line. Shut up, don't say that, is what they were doing.
They don't want to talk about the reptilians.
They don't want to talk about the reptilian presence.
I'm not here to tell you that Billy Corgan saw a shapeshifter, but what I am here to tell you is that this idea that a person could change into something else isn't new at all. It runs deep through human history. This idea is so old, it reaches back to the very origins of human civilization. Over 7,000 years ago, in the Ubayyad culture of southern Iraq, excavations uncovered clay figures with human bodies and reptile heads. The British Museum has a figure that shows a mother nursing her child. Her body is human, but the child's head is long and pointed with slanted reptile eyes. There's no writing to explain it. There's no temple art to give it context. It's just this eerie lizard-headed figure frozen in clay. And the same idea shows up thousands of miles away in India and Southeast Asia. Hindu and Buddhist traditions describe the Naga, who were these half-human, half-serpent beings. Sometimes they looked fully human, and other times they looked like giant cobras. And sometimes they were both human and reptile at the same time. To them, these weren't abstract myths from the past. These are lineages that are still traced today. In Cambodia, there is a story of a human prince who marries a Naga, half-reptile princess. Their marriage gave birth to a kingdom, and even today, some dynasties claim descent from this same bloodline. To them, serpent blood wasn't a curse, it was a proof of royal legitimacy. And this same theme appears across the Pacific. In Hawaii, legends tell of a reptile spirit that can shift its shape and conceal its true identity. Sometimes they are a beautiful woman, or a small gecko, or even a dragon-like lizard. These stories often talk of men who meet a woman by the water, only to realize later she wasn't human at all. But these stories aren't relegated to myths or even Eastern religions. They appear in Western traditions too. Catholic exorcists describe scenes that sound disturbingly close to shapeshifting. In the 1970s, Jesuit priest Malachi Martin wrote about cases where the possessed would change their voices and their faces. He said that their eyes would turn dark and predatory, and their bodies would writhe on the floor like snakes. In one case, he said a person's pupils narrowed into slits like a snake as they spoke in a language no one in the room could understand. Father Martin didn't see these signs as theatrics, but as proof of something non-human pressing through the body, making itself known. And this is where the pattern explodes. Because in the legends of the Incas and the Aztecs, shapeshifting was the power of the gods. The Inca told stories of Viracocha, a bearded god who came from across the sea. In the oldest carvings, he appears holding staffs depicted as snakes. To the north, the Aztecs spoke of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent who brought advanced knowledge from the stars. In their stories, Quetzalcoatl wasn't bound to a single form. Sometimes he appeared as a man, and other times he appeared as a serpent with iridescent feathers. The line between human and serpent wasn't fixed. It was blurred. The same being could move between bodies as easily as stepping through a doorway. And here's where the story comes back full circle. Many people who claim direct contact with aliens often describe them as reptilian. Sometimes they are reptile-like aliens, but often they are humanoids with eyes that look like a snake or a cat. Some of these experiencers even report seeing symbols of winged serpents carved into the walls of UFOs. Why does the iconography of alien abduction match that of the Aztecs? Across cultures and millennia, these stories shouldn't align, but they do. The pattern is hard to ignore, and it's even harder to explain. From Mesopotamia to Asia to the Americas, people have always told stories about beings that are not fully human, but pretend to be. And these aren't isolated stories from eccentric people. These are reports that reach back to the very beginning of history itself. In some stories, they appear as gods and protectors. In others, they are demons and deceivers twisting their way into our world through possession or disguise. But in every version, there's the same uncanny details. They look human until suddenly they don't. Maybe Billy Corgan saw something he couldn't explain. Maybe it was a trick of the light, or maybe he stepped into the same story humans have been telling for 7,000 years. We dress it up in new names, but the story never changes, even as the faces shift before our very eyes. Before we wrap up, I want to mention a couple of channels that actually inspired this video. The first is Polarity Josh, who did a fantastic deep dive into Billy Corgan's story, and he offers a theory as to who might be his shapeshifter. The second is Chris Ramsey at Area 52, who made the connection to the alien abductions for me. I'm going to link both of these videos in the comments. They are excellent and worth watching, and both of their channels are actually excellent as well, not just those videos. If you're new here, my name is Taylor McMahon, and if you want to hear more stories about the lost and forgotten parts of our world, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. If you want to see the fact checks and notes for this episode, you can check out my website, which is linked in the show notes, and it also includes all of my members-only videos. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.